afternoon to our beloved professor, Dr. Annalisa Poblete, and also to my fellow classmates. My name is Mharia and you are help from B and 1. My topic is all about El Filibusterismo. El Filibusterismo is the second novel of Dr. Jose Rizal, writing on 80th September 80th of September 1891. It is written in Spanish and a sequence to No Limitangre. Was published in Glen Belgium. Dr. Jose Rizal, who began writing El Filibusterismo in October 1887 in Calamba, Laguna, revised some chapters while he was in London and completed the book on March 29, 1891. Dr. Jose Rizal wrote El Filibusterismo in dedication to the three martyr priests, Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, expressing conviction that their treatment and deaths at the hands of the Spanish authorities was unjust. Before we proceed to the summary of the novels, let us know the characters of El Filibusterismo. The first one is Simon, the continuation of character of Crisostomo from being idealistic, the cruel society made him pessimistic. Using his wealth, he encouraged the people who experienced abuse to join him in his rebellion against the church and the society. He represented the revolutionaries during the time who supported the idea of holding bloody revolt against the Spanish government. Basilio, he was the son of Sisa and was adopted by Capitan Tiago, a medicine student and the boyfriend of Julie. He represents the young, educated Filipinos who are apathetic to the needs of the society. Isagani, he was the nephew of a good priest named Padre Florentino. He was idealistic and a student leader. He was the friend of Basilio and the boyfriend of Maria Paulita Gomez. He is the symbol of youth, want, love for the country is great to the point of being branded as idealistic. Ginoong Pasta. He was a former idealistic Filipino, but because of the corruption in the government, he became self-centered. He represents the part of the society that is only generous and sympathetic to the rich and powerful. His self-centeredness overshadows his patriotism. Huli was the less fortunate daughter of Cabecerang Tales and the girlfriend of Basilio. When her father was adopted by the rebels, she offered her service to Hermana Pechay to get the money for the ransom, and when Basilio was imprisoned, she offered her body to a priest from the release of Basilio. Because of the different misfortune that she experienced, she committed suicide. She represents the Philippine which would rather suffer with pride of honor. Cabezang Tales, a farmer who ran a piece of land from the corporation of the Prial. When the Prial wanted to increase the tax for the land, he refused, and then he was adopted, and later he joined the plan of Simon. But instead of attaining justice, he praised his dead. He symbolized the native and the farmers whose land were seized by the fire. Placido Penitente. He was a student from the province, a scholar and a victim of a self-centered professor. He walked out from school and joined the plan of Simon. He represents the people who have yet to cultivate their nationalistic attitude. Don Custodio, a Spaniard who was placed in the high position in the government, even if he was not educated and did not have enough skills. He represents ambitious and arrogant people who doesn't like to be opposed. Maria Paulita Gomez. She was the girlfriend of Isagani, but in the end, she married another man just to follow the request of her aunt, Doña Victorina. Symbolized a woman who chosen the best option for more stable future. Padre Florentino, Isagana's godfather and a secular priest, was engaged to be married but chose to be a priest. After being pressured by his mother, the story hinting at the ambivalence of his decision as he chosen an assignment to a remote place living in solitude near the sea. He took and Don Tiburcio de Espadaña when he was hiding from his wife, Doña Victorina. He symbolized hope and peace. Padre Camora, the Losbol parish of Tiani, Santiago's adjacent town, who has long time desire for young women, he nearly raped Huli, causing the latter to commit suicide. He symbolized abusing Spaniard. Bensai symbolize people who are self-centered, refusing to believe he is wrong and not caring about other people's suffering as long as he gets something out of it. Juanito Pilaes, the son of Don Timoteo Pilaes, a Spanish businessman, he is also one of the members of Mharia who wished to have Academia de Castellano built. He is considered by Isagani as his rival to Paulita Gomez, the woman would he fall in love and wed in the end. Placido Penitente considered him as a good-for-nothing classmate. Doña Victorina, Victorina de las Reyes de Espadaña, known in Noli Me Tangere as Tiburcio de Espadaña, cruel wife. She is the aunt of Paulita Gomez and favored Juanito Pilaes than Isagani. Although of unjust ideology, she considered herself as one of the peninsular. Tiburcio de Espadaña. Don Tiburcio is Victorina de Espadaña, lame husband. He currently on hiding with Father Florentino. Don Timoteo Pelaez, Juanito's father. He a rich businessman and arranged a wedding from his son and Paulita. He and Simon became business partners. Tatang Celo, father of Cabezang Tales and grandfather of Tano and Tuli. He raised the sick and young Basilio after he left their house in Nolimetangere. He died in an encounter up the mountain with his son Tales, when he was killed by battalion that include his old grandson Tano. Tano, Cabezang Tales' elder son, after his older sister Lucia died in childhood. He is currently one of the Guardia Civil, and then he returned under the name Carolino after his exile in Caroline Island. Hermana Bali, another gambler in Teani. She became Juli's mother figure and counselor, helped to release Tales from the hand of bandits. Gobernador General, the highest ranking official in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period. His unnamed character pretend that was he is doing is for the good of the Indians, the local citizens of the country, but in reality, he prioritized the needs of his fellow Spaniards living in the country. Pepay, Don Custodio's supposed girlfriend, a dancer, she is always agitated of her boyfriend, Lance. She seems to be close friend of Maraig. Macaraig, one of Isagani's classmates at the University of Santo Tomas. She is a rich student and served as the leader of the student yearning to build the Academia de Castellano. Sandoval, the vice leader of Macaraig Camp, a Spanish classmate of Isagani, he coerced his fellow classmate to lead alongside him the opening of the Spanish Language Academy. Tadeo, Macaraig classmate, he along with the other three members of their gang supposedly posed the poster that thanks Don Custodio and Father Irene for the opening of the Academia de Castellano. Padre Milton, the basic teacher of the University of Santo Tomas, he always became vindictive with Placido and always thanked him during class. Padre Hernandez, the priest friend of Isagani, he promised to Isagani that he and the other priests will give in to the student demand. Padre Irene, Captain Tiago, a spiritual advisor, although reluctant, he helped the student to establish the Academia de Castellano after being convicted by giving him a chestnut. The only weakness to Captain Tiago's death, he forced the last will and testament of the latter, so Basilio will obtain nothing for the inheritance. Padre Hernando de la Sevilla, a Dominican friar, introduced in Noli Me Tangere, now the vice rector of the University of Santo Tomas. Padre Salve, former parish priest of San Diego, now the director and chaplain of Santa Clara Convent. Capitan Tiago, Maria Clara's father, and the posted father to Basilio. His health disintegrated gradually because of the opium he was forced to smoke given to him by Father Irene. Quiroga, a Chinese businessman who dreamed of being consuled for his country in the Philippines. He hides Simon's weapon inside his house. Hermana Pechang, sang pang-rich pasakal gambler. He offered Huli to be her maid so the latter can obtain money to free Cabezang Tales. Disbelieving of Huli and his friend and her close friends, he considered herself as an ally of the trial. Lead, an American who holds stage play, is starring Sir Head. He is a good friend of Simon. Maxon, Basilio's classmate who had no idea on the happenings occurring around him. He suggested that they held the mock celebration at the Pansiteria. Maria Clara, she is the girlfriend of Crisostomo Ibarra, but chose to become a nun despite Father Damaso's agreement. She eventually died as witnesses by Basilio when he visited the convent of Santa Clara. His propensed Simon to expedite his plan for revolution. She symbolized the purity and innocence of a native woman. And Filibusterismo is the sequence of Noli Me Tangere. Simon Ibarra or Crisostomo Ibarra is the last noble, so revenge against the people who did wrong his family. He planned the revolution to overthrow the existing government and the prior through encouraging other people who also experience misfortune because of them. In the first scene in the Vapor Tabo, the order of the people, a board, represented the social stratification in the society where the native Filipino were in the lower part of the ship and the Peninsularis government official and the prior were on top. Simon encouraged the people who experienced injustice in the hands of the friar and Spanish authorities, like Placido Penitente, who experienced discrimination from his teacher, Padre Milton. One day in his class in physics, Placido was asked to answer a question which was intended for Juanito Pelaez. Father Milton was a kind of teacher who would get mad if someone could answer his question and he only accept answer coming from the book. However, as an intelligent student, Placido could expand well his answer, and because of that he had an agreement with Padre Milton because he could answer the question. Padre Milton felt insulted, so he marked Placido as absent and failed for the day. And then Placido answered back that how could he receive failing grade for that day if he was absent. Then Placido walked out from the university and decided to join Simon. Cabezang Tales was a farmer who lost his land because of the trial. He refused to pay taxes and filed a case against the trial. He was kidnapped by the rebels because they thought that he had a lot of money because he could afford to sue the trial. His daughter Julie decided to work as houseworker in the house of Hermana Pechay to earn money for the ransom of his father. However, Cabezang Tales chose to live with the rebels and foul against the government. His idea of revenge was encouraged by Simon, and the latter gave financial support for the rebels. Isagani was the leader of the Filipino students who wanted to build an academy of Spanish language so that the Filipino student could have the opportunity to know the language. He was an idealist who was suspicious of Simon. He was the boyfriend of Maria Paulita Gomez, but Paulita married Juanito Pilay since he was a Spaniard and came from a wealthy family. Basilio, the son, a medical student, and was the adopted of Capitan Tiago. He was boyfriend of Huli and because he was part of the organization who fought for foundation of the Academy of Spanish Language, he was later imprisoned, and because he could not pay for his freedom, Huli offered herself to Padre Camara so that Basilio could be free. Huli could not bear the result of her agreement with Padre Camara, so she committed suicide. The plan of Simon will be executed during the wedding of Maria Paulita Gomez and Juanito Pilares, because the wedding would be attended by the prior and the higher official in the government. Simon would give the oil lamp that would explode when the lid of the light fall. The explosion would be the cue for the rebels to attack, but his plan did not materialize because on the day of the wedding, Basilio warned Isagani about the explosion. And so Isagani went to the venue and threw the oil lamp to the river. The explosion did not happen, and the rebels thought that they were deceived were deceived by Simon. The Spanish authorities arrested those who were included in the plan, and the secret of Simon as Crisostomo Ibarra was revealed. Simon was able to escape and reach the place of Padre Florentino. He confessed to the priest, and before he committed suicide by drinking poison, he entrusted his box of jewelry to the priest. Padre Florentino threw the box of jewelry to the sea where it came from. Let us talk about the No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo comparison. No Limitang Here, published in Belgium, Germany, on March 21, 1887. Published through Viola, The Health of Massimo Viola. Influenced by the novel entitled Uncle Tom's Cabin. While El Filibusterismo, subversive, published in Glen, Belgium, on September 18, 1891. Saved by Valentin Ventura. On No Limitang Here, a novel exposing the real situation in the Philippines, entitled in English, Touch Me Not, in Tagalog, Huwag Mo Akong Salingin, came from Bible, while El Filibusterismo, dedicated to the Gambulsa, sequence to the Noli, darker and more tragic than its predecessor, shorter than Noli, 64 chapter, and the El Filibusterismo is 34 chapters. Noli Me Tangere, sometimes used to describe an eye cancer, refers to the existing social cancer, apathy, and ignorance. Culture of the Philippines, while El Filibusterismo, a political novel, a story of revenge and revolution, metaphor of Philippine society, Vapor, Tabo, and Pasig River. Noli Me Tangere, an idealist introducing reform, a tragic love story, colonial discrimination, church power. While El Filibusterismo, Simon, plan of revenge and revolution. Failure of the revolution planned by Simon. Thank you and God bless.